Check, check. Yes, there we go. Alright. Welcome back to F1 Rock Boys Tier 3. And it's time for the Singapore Grand Prix for round 8 of the season. 8 out of 12, 5 races remaining, including this one. And it's the final race before the Christmas break, which will last 2 weeks. Then we will return on the 9th of January. Anyway, Singapore tonight. Certainly going to be interesting with the walls very close by. And with this tier 3 grid, you can expect entertainment. So anyway, let's take a look at the driver standings going into this race. Actually, both standings. Tolu is our championship leader by 7 points over Jesus. After the Spanish Grand Prix, it was quite a poor race from our championship leaders. Jesus P6, Wardy P13, and Tolu snatched second place, only behind Firehawk with a dominant win over 10 seconds. But Tolu is our championship leader then in Williams, 7 points ahead of Jesus, and then the gap to Wardy is already 29 points. It's already edging towards a 2-horse fight for the championship. In the constructors, it's a little bit less close with Ferrari as our leaders. And they are 37 points clear of both Aston Martin and McLaren going into this race. And we've kicked off qualifying. It appears to be bone dry. It's good to see. Yesterday in Tier 2 we had a dry qualifying and almost completely dry race until it started raining on lap 27 of 31. So you never know. Or lap 27? Maybe a bit earlier, 24. Something like that. But towards the end of the race it appears to be dry so far, and a lot of them on their outlaps, and the first one on track is Bob in the Red Bull. He's always been strong in qualifying this season, but in the races it's been a little bit disappointing for himself as well. Has lost positions compared to his starting position every single race so far, which is never a good statistic to have. But let's ride on board then with the Red Bull driver into turn 1. Can really have to attack the curb on the inside. Can cut quite a bit, but never too much. You have to be careful on the outside and on the inside. You can cut that curb as well. On the other games it usually bounces you off into the wall, but on this year's game not quite as much. This curb stone though can be tricky. You have to hit it right. On the exit, have to be careful with the track limits. Rear locking can be an issue into this hairpin. And make sure to not hit that inside curb. Same for here. Can hit it, but can unsettle your car into the outside wall, which Bob has nicely navigated. You can completely cut the inside curb there. And this one as well. While on the right hand side here, can quite easily take you out. Speaking from experience, in a couple months ago I crashed out in a race. Jumpy Painter has retired. He has his qualifying ban. This corner is mainly tricky because the exit, if you cross that white line with all 4 of your tires, you will get an invalidation. So quite interesting track limits, and this is a very awkward chicane. With the curbstones as well, can really unsettle your car. Then final corner should be flat out. Have to be mindful of the curb on the outside though, and across the line, and first lap time on the board at 27.476. Puts him on top for the time being, but that sure will not be the final time for pole position, I can assure you that, as a madman. Up to second place, Firehawk in between with a 27.5, and we should be able to get into the 26s. Yesterday, Tier 2 pole time was at 25.9, which was even quicker than the Tier X pole time. But at the moment we're 1.5 seconds off. It's usually a bit closer than that, so we will probably see a 26. These are the bankers so far, of course, so don't want to push too hard. Haza, as per usual, on the mediums. Put it ahead of Pete, who is making his debut tonight. Parts of all P4 Tolu into P3, but nobody so far has been able to beat Bob's lap time. Until now, as Alpha Wall goes to the top with a 1:27.3, and then Wardy immediately replaces him with a 1:27.2. I'm not sure why I'm not getting the fastest lap at the top of my screen, but we can clearly see on the timetable on the left hand side. The two McLarens now out in front. They do need a good result to stay in the Constructors' Championship fight. Wasn't a great race for them last week. Of course, Wardy finished P13. I think he got hit by the curb of death at Barcelona. Alpha Hype Wall. No, he finished on the podium actually, so not sure what I'm yapping about, but either way, they're quite far off Ferrari. They do need a good result as Simniak on the mediums into the top 5. Good banker lap for him as well. Only one still in pit lane is Jesus. Second in the championship, is usually not that strong in qualifying, but he always makes up for it in the races, which is where you score the points. So not about where you start, it's about where you finish. And, he is a good example for that, as he has won a race so far this season. The Mystery Grand Prix at Melbourne. And now Shark across the line. 27.8 puts him in P8. Have a look at his teammate Soul Demon, who missed out on a podium last week by only a few hundredths. Would have been his first podium of the season. He's on the mediums right now. Just Football FC on the lap as well. Quite strong in qualifying. Also on the lap, Josh Bushman and Dasher. Into the final corner for the Mercedes. Cross the line, P9. 27.8. And then we look at Sol. He is on mediums though. As we have seen from Simniak, you can be quite quick on the mediums, although he did have a little bit of a moment coming out of the chicane. 28.3 is the result of that. P13 for the time being. And we look at Dasher across the line. Up to P11, 1,000th of a second behind Shark. As Jesus has also started his lap. That's right on board with the man second in the championship, our reigning world champion. Let's see what he can do on his first outing. Keeping it tidy so far. Josh Bushman only P17. 1.6 seconds off with a 27.8. Quite good enough yet. I'm sure he will be able to improve. But after the first set of lap times, we've got the two McLarens on the front row by 0.2 of a second to Bob, and Firehawk 0.3 behind. Let's take a look at Jesus rounding the final corner. P14 with a 28.211, almost a second off. The McLaren's out in front. Bob is on a lap, the Williams was backed off. Firehawk as well. He's up by 0.2 of a second through sector 1 already. Good improvement so far. Oh, and that's Bob into the wall. Didn't lose too much with that, but certainly more time to find. That is for sure. So he is 0.4 up on this lap, and he will go on to provisional pole position. Just needs to finish off the lap. And let's see what Firehawk is doing in the middle sector. He's 0.5 up, he's going even quicker than the Red Bull. And I think we're gonna go into the 26s. First across the line is Bob, 26.862, and he goes to the top by almost 0.4 of a second. That's more like it. First one to go into the 126. Then we look at Firehawk, who is 0.5 up on his time. Needs to find a bit more though in the final sector. Can he match or beat Bob across the line? He can't quite beat Bob. He can match him though with a 126.8 as well. Puts him on the front row with 21 thousandths of a second behind the Red Bull. And now it's to Wardy to improve. He really needs a good weekend as Zimniak to the top. Zimniak on provisional pole position with a 126.8 as well. Look how close it is as the top three. 400 separating them. As Wardy is not improving through sector 1, 7.5 hundredths down on his time so far, but Zimniak out of nowhere. He was quick on the mediums already. He is quick on the softs as well, and Zimniak might be a contender for pole position then. Let's hope he doesn't get hit with any connection issues, as we have seen quite often so far this season. Middle sector is looking good for Wardy. And he is improving by almost 0.3. Game displays it as purple sector 2. We'll need to find a little bit more time though in the final sector. Keeping it nice and tidy away from the curbs. Sends it into the final corner across the line. 26.9, not quite good enough to place himself inside the top 3, but the top 4 is now covered within 0.1 of a second. As close as ever. Tolu was did he just improve or? Not quite sure, he's P8, but he is backed off. Or he is on an in lap, not quite sure. As we now look at Haza, 1/10 up through the middle sector. That's not really a massive difference, as his first lap time was on the medium, so doesn't seem to be gaining too much on this set of tire when he pulls back into the pit lane. Abandons his lap. Oh wait, did I say I thought it was 8 100s, but it's 6 100s covering the top 4. Even closer. Absolutely insane stuff in this qualifying session. Dasher is on a good lap as well, 0.6 up. And that could potentially get him up to P5. Good day and welcome to the stream as Dasher. Not quite P5, but P6 in the end. Quite close behind Alpha hype wall. I was gonna check something, but I forgot. Pete is the only one on the lap, and he's up by 4 tenths through sector 1. A very good start to his lap. Can he hold on to that? To the second and third parts of the lap, was very close to hitting the outside wall. Used to be the Singapore Sling, 8.5 tenths up. Pete might be on for provisional pole position here. Massive lap so far in the Aston Martin. A little bit wide though through the chicane. I think he hit the outside wall going into it. Final corner. Can he go for pole position? He can go for pole position. 26.7. Where did that come from? And Pete is now on provisional pole position by over a tenth of a second. And the others will need to answer, and Firehawk is already answering to that. Although 300s through sector 1 won't be enough, but he's absolutely sending it right now, very, very close to the walls. A little bit wide though through there, but keeps it nice and tidy through here. Into the hairpin. Nice rotation onto throttle. DRS enabled. ERS deployed. And he's up by 2 tenths of a second. Cuts across the inside curb. No invalidation. And this could be pole position if he doesn't pass up the final sector. In fact, he seems to be taking it quite nicely there. Around the final corner, 1 minute on the clock. Can Firehawk go to provisional pole position? He can go to provisional pole position. 26.581. What a lap. From the man who won last race. He was in tier 4 earlier on in this season. Got promoted to tier 3 and he's absolutely smashing it so far. Because he is currently on for back-to-back pole positions. He might even turn it into back-to-back wins, but that's something for later tonight. Bob is on a good lap as well, 3 tenths up through sector 1. It's not over till it's finished. And Bob is on a mighty lap. Look at how he cuts the inside curb there. As the flag will fall 3.5 tenths up. Bob might spoil the party for Firehawk here. Pete and Dasher, they are finished. Everyone else is on improvement except for Shark. He will be P7 at best. Josh Bushman, P17, but Bob, can he go for pole position? He does go for pole position, 26.4. And Bob goes even quicker, another tenth to the rest of the field. And now we will look at Firehawk entering the pit lane. But it is Alpha Ball with an invalidation. He won't improve either. And Wardy is not improving either. Then we look at Jesus across the line, only P16, that's the last thing he needed. As Tolu goes up to 7th behind Madman. Wardy and Zimniak is on a good lap. Can Zimniak clinch pole position? Zimniak is on ball. 26.434. Beats Bob to pole position by 17 thousandths of a second. And Zimniak is on pole position because Sold has entered the pit lane to conclude this qualifying. And Zimniak in the Alpine will be on pole position for the Singapore Grand Prix. with Bob lining up alongside him on the front row. Very, very close stuff between the two of them. Firehawk, in the end, will be starting from P3 ahead of Pete, who has done an incredible job in P4. Bordy and Parsifal will look out the third row. Then it's Madman and championship leader Tolu in P8. His rival though, down in P16. Alpha Wall in P9. And Shush Football FC rounds out the top 10. What a qualifying we've seen. And then 26-4 in the end. It's a few tenths off tier 2 pole time, but it's a very good lap indeed. As we take a look at the rest of the grid, Hasa P11, 1000 of Shush Football FC, who is 1000 of Alpha Ball. These three covered within 3 or 2000 of a second. Shark in P12, Dasher and Soul P13 and 14, Black Sky P15, Jesus in P16 only. The two Saubers once again disappointing result in qualifying 17 and 18, and Jumpy Painter will line up last on the grid in P19 after his qualifying ban. We will take a few minutes for getting on with this race. Appears to be dry again. And the strategy will be medium hard or hard medium, most likely. Softs aren't great around here. Jumpy Painter says only a drop of rain, hopefully, in the tier 3 chat. So could there be rain in this race? That would make it very, very interesting. So Bob and Firehawk currently on hards. Quite a few more in the midfield. Keeping it out of the barrier is going to be quite the task tonight, especially in the earlier stages when the car is quite heavy with fuel. Get the understeer. And with the hards it will take a while before they get up to temperature or get up to speed. So multiple factors you have to take into account ahead of this race. Also the fuel rating is very low around here. I noticed yesterday I started with 1.9, which is way too much. After 10 laps it was still 1.9, so near enough no fuel being drained around here. So it's 27, so we should get this race going any moment now. Good luck, everyone. 3, let's see what you got this week. Around a tricky track like this. Here we go. The 5 red lights going on. Zimniak on pole with Bob alongside. And the lights are out and it seems to be a better start from Bob initially. Is he pulling alongside? He is into turn 1. Bob has the inside, Zimniak on the outside, and Bob takes the lead into turn 1. Zimniak is forced to go off track, and that is one of the Astons tumbling down the order. That is Pete. As Bob, is he going to give back the position? He might. Zimniak is going wheel to wheel with Firemark up the inside of the Red Bull. Contact between the two. And Zimniak has retaken the lead, although Bob is still alongside. Wheel to wheel now. At the end of sector 1, and Bob is going to slot in behind, so Zimniak back into the lead of this race, ahead of Bob. Then it's Firehawk. Barteval up to P4. Just Football FC with a brilliant start. P5, Alpha Wall, wheel to wheel with Ulu almost getting into the wall. And now we see the V-Cup looking around the outside there as well. Oh, contact, and Todos round championship leader is down. Oh, and Bob, or Hassa into the wall. No, it's Bob. It's Bob and Barteval into the wall. Oh my goodness me. What are we witnessing at the start of this race? Dasher has had an issue as well. So has Wardy. It's all kicking off. Bob and Barteval have come together on the opening lap. What is going on in this race? Zimniak now into the lead with the 2 Mercedes following him. And where did Just Football come from? P10 on the grid. And he's now in P3, and Firehawk is going to go for the lead. No, he's not. But Zimniak overshoots the corner, and Firehawk says thank you very much. Does he? Wheel to wheel into the final corner. Firehawk takes the lead of this race as Zimniak pulls into the pit lane. And I wonder if he has damage. And it's now a Mercedes 1-2 at the end of lap 1. What have we seen? Alpha Wall, P3 from 9 from the grid. Shark has made up 8 places, just like his teammate. P4 and P6 for the 2 V-Carbs. Hassa in P5. And our pole sitter is into the pit lane for a set of hearts. Another front wing change, which is unlucky, because he certainly does have damage. So what has happened at the front end between Zimniak, Bob and Barteval? Also into the pit lane is Carnator, presumably for a front wing change. Oh, and Firemark has got damage as well, so the entire top 4 have collided on the opening lap. And this is playing into the hands of Just Football FC, but what the hell happened here on lap 1? This race has been blown wide open on lap 1 already. Firehawk is our race leader, but with that front wing damage, Just Football FC is right behind his teammate and is looking to try and overtake. He's got a tire advantage as well. Two Mercedes out in front, and that is Firehawk going off track. And Just Football FC staying behind for now, probably looking to get past on the DRS straight coming up in a few corners, as Barteval into the pit lane as well. Zimniak has got a penalty for a 13-second penalty from pole position down to almost last. It's not what you want to see. For some reason I'm not getting these notifications on the top of my screen, but we'll just have to keep an eye out then. Into the pit lane goes Zimniak. He's got front wing damage and a 13-second penalty. It is really not his day, and he's retired in pit lane. on the end of lap 2. In the meantime, Shush Football FC has overtaken his teammate, and look how quickly he is building that gap. Already a second to his teammate, halfway into the lap. And rightfully so, Zimniak unhappy with what happened on lap 1. Didn't catch it unfortunately, but I'm sure we'll be seeing some footage after the race. Meanwhile, Firehawk into the pit lane. That's quite a late decision for him, but the front wing damage appears to be too severe as he slides into the pit lane with some nice rear locking. Hopefully he has enabled the front wing change, and he has. So our entire top 4 has, or top 5, is out of the top 10. This race is completely flipped on its head. Just one lap, and now Shush Football FC, 1.7 gap to Alpha Wall. And Jesus is the one profiting from this. 16th on the grid, and he started into P6, ahead of all his rivals. Let's put on the tires, there we go. He's in a bit of a train though, behind Haza and Soul Demon, both on the hards, Jesus on the mediums. Shush Football FC continuing to extend this lead at the front. Parzival into the pit lane again. Yellow flags are out for... oh, and it's Josh Boschman. Just had an incident in the hairpin. Did he get tagged or did he lose it on his own? Certainly not been the season so far for Kick Sauber. 9th in the constructors, only ahead of Alpine. And that is Bob with a penalty. A 3-second penalty. Yes, it is. On lap 5, that's not great news. And the curse seems to continue for Bob. Always good in qualifying. Not quite there in the races. Again finds himself now in P12. As we see Pete getting past Madman. Pete has fallen back as well. He started in the top 4, 5 or 6, top 6, something like that. He's in P8. He's behind his teammate, by the way, Jumpy Painter, who started P19. And he's already made his way up to P7. Absolutely mental. After the chaos on lap 1, virtual safety car has been deployed. And for what is the question? It might have been Black Sky in the Williams, who has lost his front wing. Which is what brought out the virtual safety car, I think. Has hit the wall somewhere. His teammate Tolu has got front wing damage as well, so might be a good opportunity now to pit and get that repaired. Parzival into the pit lane for like the 5th time already. Is he going to come out of the leading group? If he's not, then he's going to be a lap behind. And if he's a lap behind, then that's his race ruined. And by the way, that's not a virtual safety car, it's a full safety car. So the game's not really working with me right now, with full safety car deployed on lap 5. Loads of drivers into the pit lane, the 2 Aston Martins, double stacking. Onto the hards. Losing Pete a lot of time though. And Toto gets his front wing repaired. Will drop in down the order. And Firehawk has gone onto a set of mediums. So the entire top 7 has stayed out. Shush Football FC, Alpha Wall, Shark, Haza, Soul Demon, Wardy and Josh Boschman. Those are the ones that did not pit under this safety car. And it looks like Wardy got hit by a madman in the opening stages, which dropped him down. As Parsifal, by the way, is trying to get ahead of the field. But it's on Shush Football to decide if he wants to let the Ferrari go by. Desperately trying to get his attention. If you want to let him by, you have to go off track. Brief moment. Otherwise, it will give Parsifal an illegal overtake, which it will not work. Hope that he's aware of that, and if not, then Parsifal will have to stay behind. Oh, there we go. Shush Football off track, and Parsifal is free to go. So, good work there by Shush Football SC. Sportsmanship. Parsifal has been given another chance. Shush Football SC is the only one who started on the mediums and has stayed out. Not sure if that's the right decision. But he might have missed the opportunity to pit. That the safety car came out just as he was going to the final corner. Not sure if that's the case. Everyone else who started on the mediums did pit. On to lap 8 we go, and might go into the pit lane at the end of this lap, but still a long way to go for Parsifal. He will have to close the gap. The 1 minute 13 as we speak. Yeah, we can finally calm down a bit after that hectic opening stage of this race. We find ourselves with some alternative strategies. The top 7 deciding to stay out. Everyone else onto the hards except for Black Sky, Vinnie Williams and Firehawk, who was already pitted twice. He's gone on to mediums as well, so he will have to pit again, most likely. Although, yeah, it probably has. Don't think he's gonna make it on these mediums. I was gonna say, as Jumping Painter has bottled it under the safety car, which is It's a massive traffic jam there in the hairpin momentarily. But what I was gonna say, yesterday in Tier 2 we had a safety car, but that was on lap 12, I believe. Quite a bit later. Wait, does Firehawk still have that front wing damage? Did I see that correctly? He does still have the front wing damage, so... Why? Did he not pit? Oh, and the safety car is ending, by the way. Yeah, I'm not getting the notification of that. Anyway, we're on to green flag racing again. And Soul Demons made quick work of Haza, is up to P4. Yeah, on to lap 9 we go. Just Football SC in the lead of this race out of Alpha Pole, then the two V-Corps. Haza, Wardy and Josh Bushman. Those are the ones who are yet to pit in this race. Then Jesus is the first one. First of the ones who have pitted. Maatman almost into the back there of Bob. Jumpy Painter is gone up to P12. Zimniak out again, yeah. He was involved in an incident on lap 1, which involved the entire top 5, I believe. I didn't quite get it on stream. But yeah, they all basically collided there. Zimniak had front wing damage, pitted, got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, didn't change his front wing either. Then he just decided to call it a day. As Jesus has got past Josh Bushman, who is now under pressure from Dasher behind, very close between the Sauber, the Alpine and the wall. Also fighting is Madman and Bob. Wheel to wheel into the final corner, usually doesn't go well, and it doesn't go well for the Williams of Black Skies. We go 4 wide on the main straight, the Mercedes of Firehawk goes for the triple overtake there. On the two Williams drivers and Carnator. Firehawk up to P14, nice move, but bit of a moment there for Black Sky. I think he got tagged from behind by, I'm not sure who it was, maybe one of the Aston Martins. Well, Jumpy Painter then up to P11, as his teammates got past Bob as well. Bob down to P13, big lock up into this semi-hairpin. A Firehawk on the outside, surely not. Doesn't quite work. Yellow flags are out and it's Josh Bushman again. Pointing in the wrong direction. 17, it's been a disastrous race for him and Sauber. Just Football FC has created a gap, but not quite big enough for to break the DRS. To Alpha Ball and Shark and Soul Demon, Haza, basically the entire top 7 within a second of each other. There's a bit of a gap to Dasher in P8, and Dasher has front wing damage as well. A lot of drivers having front wing damage in this race. As he goes wide off the final corner. Madman goes up the inside, Jumpy Painter goes up the inside. And Jumpy Painter back into the top 10. Has half a look up the inside of the Haas. Will probably be able to get past with the help of DRS, as Bob has had an incident. Virtual safety car has been deployed. Bob has gone off, he's spun on the exit of turn 3 or 4 and he's lost his front wing. He has lost his front wing. Absolute disaster for Bob in this race. Nothing seems to go his way. This time it is a virtual safety car, not a full safety car. It's as chaotic as ever here in Tier 3. Laps in, and we've already seen so much. One safety car, another virtual safety car. Many incidents. Only a third of the way through this race. Anyway, green flag racing again, and Just Football FC has got an 8th gap to Alpha Wall. On to lap 12 we go. Shark is quite close behind the McLaren of Alpha Wall, but both of them have the DRS as Bob into the pit lane. Has to replace that front wing, couldn't do it under VSC, but I'm glad he keeps on driving, because by the way things are going, anything is possible with the amount of yellows, VSC safety cars we've had so far. Finished until or after we reach lap 31, and as I talk of that, Wardy has crashed out. Wardy is into the wall. He's done a George Russell. No way! In the background, the McLaren into the wall, lost his wheel, and the safety car has been deployed. Exactly as I was talking about, anything being possible in this race. Wardy into the wall and out of the Singapore Grand Prix. And that has severely hurt his chances in the championship. He needed a good result today, and what he will get is 0 points. Just Football FC into the pit lane. Good timing for him. So does Sol, Haza and Pete. Farhawk as well once again. He had to pit again, so might as well do it now. And he will replace his front wing this time, so anything is still possible. He will drop down the order though. P15 it will be. And Partsville was a lap down at some point. He's now in P11. Might even be P10, it is P10. Yes, he slots in between Just Football FC and Soul Demon on all their hard tires though. And in the meantime, Shark has got a 3-second penalty as well. And him and Alpha Wall have stayed out again. So they're gambling on possibly another safety car. You never know. But they certainly could have made it to the end if they pitted for mediums on this lap. Looks like we're back to a classic tier 3 race here, with the amount of carnage we're having. As Josh Boschman for the 3rd time in this race has binned it into the wall, under safety car, lost his front wing. What are you doing, man? Come on. Unless he's been hit off 3 times, but I doubt it. Finds the wall yet again. He was on old hearts anyway, so might as well bid to mediums. Right then, Jesus, who started in P16, is seriously a contender for the race win here. And Jumpy Painter who started in P19, is fighting with Jesus for the race win. What? That's all I have to say. And we're not even halfway into this race. Bob has pitted again. Onto used hards we go. He probably has run out of tires. Or run out of mediums and hards. Got used tires left. Josh Washburn onto a new set of mediums. Let's keep an eye out on how long it will take him before putting it into the wall again. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when at this point. Sorry, not sorry. Safety car is not going in. Can confirm. So one more lap then. At the halfway point of this race we will return. Green flag racing, and I wonder if Bob is going to be able to catch up. But 45 seconds gap to close. Josh Washman is only now caught up, and Bob still just about going into sector 3. Might be a little bit close for him. Let's just keep our view fixed on Josh Boschman, because this man is capable of anything underneath the safety car. Wouldn't want to miss it. Yeah. Tries to get past his teammate there. Got a penalty as well. Both of them actually. But they are still in this race. That's the only positive so far. I think Bob might just be able to catch up near the end of this lap. I don't think the safety car can stay out for another lap. It has reached its limit. And now we got the flashing safety car sign at the top. Alright, yeah, Bob will definitely be able to close that gap. Safety car is going into this lap. It's not at the top of the screen, but as you can clearly see, the gap between Alpha Paul and Mr. Bernd Mailander. Alright, 16 laps to go. Alpha Paul goes very late, but here we go then. Green flag once again in this race for the third time, I think. Alpha Ball leads. Jesus already having half a look up the inside of Shark. Will have to stay behind him. He's got Jumpy Painter now on his outside. But he doesn't quite get the exit right to be able to make a move on the Ferrari, but he's very close now to the back of Jesus. Both of them deploying the ERS probably. Just trying to defend. Is he going to send it or is he going to stay behind? He's going to stay behind for now. In the background there's contact between Parzival and Haza. Haza doing a lot of speed, and Dasher and Pete now going wheel to wheel. And we've all made it through. Bob not quite caught up, but 2 seconds. They're going to be able to close that. So when is Alpha Bob going to pit? Is he going to hope for another safety car, or the pit in a few laps time? Up the inside, Black Sky on his debut, making having a good race so far, even though he lost his front wing earlier on. He's back in P6, although he's on 10 lap old mediums. He's not going to be able to finish the race on that tire. He has just got past Just Football SC though, but goes wide, and the Mercedes back up the inside in the final corner and on the main straight gets past. So Just Football SC, who was our race leader earlier on in this race, is back into the top 6 as the two Williams now go wheel to wheel totally up the inside. He gets past and he's up into 7th place. Just Football FC has got the best tires of anyone at the front, so he's still very much in contention for the win. Black Sky under pressure from Soul Demon, having a look, but you don't really want to go for the move here. Gonna have to sit behind for a few more corners. It's very tight around here, or is he gonna send it up the inside of the hairpin? He is close behind, and he is gonna send it up the inside, wheel to wheel. The Williams leaves him space, but he will have the better exit. And also the inside line for the next corner coming up. Soul Demon later on the brakes turns in, and Soul Demon around the outside up into P8. Good move there, and Hazza gets past the Williams now as well, so Black Sky dropping down the order a bit down to P10. Go on to lap 18, still staying out. Alpha Paul and Shark. The Jesus and Jumpy Painter have crawled right up to the back of those two. Madman with a bit of a moment coming out of turn 3, and Just Football FC having a look up the inside, but he's gonna stay behind for now. Very difficult to overtake around here. It's a narrow track, so when you go side by side, the chances of hitting the wall are very high. When am I going to see Jesus having a look? Oh, Jumpy Painter almost running into the back of the Ferrari, and he was now very close at the back of Shark. Is he going to have a look up the inside? No, he's just a bit too far behind to be able to go for the move. Who isn't far behind is Tolu, and he pushes Soul Demon into the wall. Soul has hit the wall, got squeezed in between the Williams and the outside wall, and he's got front wing damage as a result of that. Very unfortunate, and Just Football SC has got a 3-second penalty. Now going wheel to into the final corner. What a move! Big lunge there up the inside. Overshoots it completely, but does get the position in the end. P5, but bit of an audacious move there by the Mercedes. What happened to Partsval? I think he got involved in a lap 1 incident, and then I think another one later on, which almost put him a lap down. Tolu for the 2nd time in this race. Tolu is round once again. Our championship leader is not having a great time around Singapore. Parzival got caught up in various incidents, dropping him down, but he's currently P10, holding on to a top 10 finish, although his tires are already quite worn out. 15 laps on these hards. Alpha 1 and Shark there are going to drop down the order a lot. P16 and 70, because the entire field is still within DRS range of each other. not anymore as Black Sky has dropped out. 12 laps to go. Still staying out, hoping for a safety car. Just Football FC nearly into the back of Jumpy Painter. And he's targeting to overtake around here, which is no surprise. Is that rain? It is rain. The rain is coming on lap 20. So it is gonna rain, and that is why they're staring out. And Jesus up the inside. Ooh, and a nice and clean move there between the two of them, wheel to wheel. The outside, will it work? Yes, it does. Round the outside, what a move by Jesus up at the second place. Beautiful move. And Jumpy Painter's gonna get past as well, as Shark runs a bit wide, but the rain has arrived at the Singapore Marina Bay Street Circuit. Oh, Jumpy Painter, big slide. As it will start to get slippery very, very quickly on. But that has thrown a spanner in the works completely, because Alpha World is now legitimately fighting for the race win with Jesus, because they're probably going to have to pit for intermediates quite soon for the final part of this race. Are we going to see anyone diving into the pit lane on this lap? Probably too early. The tier 2 race, it started pouring down immediately. We had to pit after just half a lap of rain. Doesn't seem to be the case this time, although Shush Football FC has already gone into the pit lane. He's gone for the gamble. On to intermediates he goes, but I think it's just a little bit too early. Old Demon and Madman and Hazza up to P6, and that's a change of lead. Jesus up the inside, and Jesus from 16th on the grid has taken the lead on lap 21. Alpha Well drops to second place on his 20 lap old hard tires. Gonna be extra difficult to keep the car pointing in the right direction in these changeable conditions. Madman's got a big train behind him, and that's the Alpine of Dasher up the inside of Partsval, who runs a bit wide. But he will have the inside for the next turn. And Soul Demon and Madman going at it as well. Soul back up into 6th place. Let's also keep an eye out on Shush Football FC's times. So he is gaining on the Sauers in front, but only marginally. And they are still staying out at the front. I think is the right decision. Jesus pulling away at the front. 1.1 is the gap. Firehawk is the next one. Into the pit lane. He's going to retire from the race. And he's going to retire from this race for some reason. I'm not sure why. He could have just pitted onto intermediates and try and make something of it, but no, he's out of this race on lap 22. Our third retirement. Jumpy Painter up at the P2. He's got past the McLaren of Alpha Ball. Just for FC, by the way, he is gaining a lot on the Saubers. Is he gaining enough? Madman has had a moment. He has run wide. Pete now up to P6, Parzival up the inside for P8, and he gets the job done. So Madman has a bit of a moment, dropping a couple of positions. Look at the gap coming down between Just Football FC and Carnotaur. The gap was 18.5 seconds a few moments ago. It's down to 17.0. Dasher very close between Wall and Madman. Soul having a look up the inside. It's not quite gonna work out. 2 seconds is the gap at the front, and Jesus is still staying out among with everyone else at the front. And next into the pit lane is Speed in the Aston Martin. Slowly but surely we'll start seeing more drivers putting into the pit lane to put on a set of intermediates. But there's only 9 laps remaining. Black Skies had a moment, he's dropped behind the 2 Aston Martins, the 2 Saubers. Just Football FC, he's come out way ahead of the Aston Martin of Peter, and Josh Boschman, don't tell me he spinned it again. He is dropped behind the Williams. No front wing damage though. 11 seconds is the gap. The Inters are quick, but it's still not really that wet. And yellow flags are out. And Bob, I think, has had a moment. He has, and that's once again lost his front wing, and Madman has crashed out. Sage goes out. Oh, Bob! Bob into the wall. Madman into the wall. He's hit the inside wall there on the approach to the hairpin after the bridge, and the first safety car's out. Madman and Bob both with separate incidents. And Bob already lost his front wing a couple of corners before, and then just straight off drove into the wall. And both of them out of this race, and this safety car has completely ruined it for Just Football SC and Pete, because everyone is going to come in and put on a set of intermediates, and that's our third safety car of this race. The rest not off yet. Yeah, I don't know, because I haven't been getting any of the race director announcement at the top all race long, or in the qualifying, so it's a bit glitched that, so I won't know if the DRS is enabled or disabled. And by the way, I say everyone's gonna pit onto intermediates, except our top 2. Is this a mistake? Or is this a strategic decision? It must be a mistake. The Inters are so much quicker. Did our top 2 just completely bottle it? That would make this race, honestly. This race is already so chaotic. Just added onto the pile of things we've been through so far. Jesus, and Jumpy Paints are onto mediums. Yeah, that mistake will cost them the race for sure. The Inters seemed much faster in the last few laps, and they will only become faster as the rain increases. So unless the rain is stopping in like between now and 5 minutes time, it's the right decision, but as of right now I think they made a big mistake by putting on the mediums instead of the intermediates. Which has left Alpha Life Wall now as our virtual race leader. Hasa, possibly second place. Let's take a look at the penalties as well. And Pete with a drive-through penalty, so he is going to drop down the order as well. And Shark and Josh Bosman both 6 seconds. Just Football FC, Jumpy Painter, Dasher, Carnator and Black Sky all 3 seconds. Jumpy Painter is going to go into the pit lane. So then it must have been a mistake. It must have been a mistake for the top 2. Jesus will be the only one on mediums. Yeah, VSC announcement and full safety car. It happened at the first safety car as well. Saying it's a virtual safety car. Oh, Jumpy Painter had front wing damage. I didn't even know. He's put on intermediates as well. But this order is getting reshuffled every single lap, man. Still 6 laps to go. It's gonna be a sprint to the end. And Jesus is gonna have to pray that the rain will end. But it's not looking good for the man who started P16 in this race. And who could have gained a lot of points on his championship rival Tolu, who is currently in P8, who's had a fair share of incidents as well so far. 6 laps to go. 6 laps of survival. I've been talking shit about the Saubers all race long so far, but they are still running. And they are gonna score points at this rate, so I'm gonna have to give them that. And Bob, I think he had floor damage or sidepod damage from the incident on lap 1. Which doesn't help his case. There we go then. Safety car in this lap, 6 laps to go. Jesus on mediums, what can he do? As the rain is still pouring down. I think he is gonna have a tough time on these tires. If he pulls this off, then it's gonna be the drive of the season. Let's see then. On to lap 26, there we go. As Pete into the pit lane to serve his drive-through penalty, and Jesus is already going to lose his lead because Alpha Wall alongside, and Alpha Wall has taken the lead immediately into turn 1. Jesus down to P3, and that is going to be the case. He is going to have a tough time. Haase up to second place. Just Football FC already got past the P3, and Jesus is dropping like an absolute stone down to P7 already after just 3 corners of racing. Gonna make that P13 in a brief moment time as this Sauber of Carnator runs into the back and gets himself front wing damage. But yeah, massive choke here for Jesus. Struggling for grip. And he was on for a great result. It's a real shame. He's now dropped behind Jumpy Paint, who pitted 1 lap before. Who has got front wing damage again, by the way. Just replaced his front wing. Yeah, that's gonna be huge for the championship. Possible to survive either crash or finish last, yeah. Well, finishing last will be the case for Jesus, I fear. But who is finishing first? That question isn't answered yet. Alpha Wall and Haase. And Haase has a look up the inside. Yellow flags are out. Jesus in the wall. The 2 race leaders going at it. And Alpha Wall is able to stay in front. Just Football FC has got a 3-second penalty. And Parzival actually somehow is looking at a podium unless Soul Demon sends it up the inside. What a massive lunge. And up to P4, beautiful move by the way, nice and clean. But quite unexpected, very late on the brakes into turn 1. He gets the job done, and Soul Demon, who was robbed of a podium last week, lost it by a few hundreds. He might be on for a podium this week to get his revenge. As they continue fighting it out at the front with 4.5 laps to go. But retire immediately, yeah, well. Since the top 15 gets points, might as well just stay out and get those 2 points. Never know as someone else is going to retire. Jumpy Painter and Shark coming together a bit there on the mini straight towards George Russell corner, and Soul Demon, that's an odd place to overtake. He's got it done. Up into P3. Can he now drive away and secure his first podium of the season? Remember, Just Football FC has been on these intermediates a couple of laps longer than everyone else. And Soul Demon already building the gap, and actually he is closing the gap just a little bit to the top 2 as well. So the pace is very strong right now for Soul Demon. 1.8 is it to Haase, and Haase's got a penalty. Haase has got a 3-second penalty. So that is his chance of a race win. Gone. Then, so Alpha Wall has pretty much got it in the bag. He just needs to keep it out of the barrier. Which is easier said than done, as we've seen plenty of times during this race. Speaking of, Josh Boschman, for the 5th time in this race, has found the wall. Surely the team is running out of front wings at this point. Also seems to be starting to find the reverse gear here. So Jesus might actually not finish last here. But the gap is coming down. Soul Demon 1.2, 1.3. Absolutely rapid at this point. So close to that wall, man. Three laps to go. Can he do anything? Try and fight for the win, maybe. The podium he's got pretty much locked in, but is there more on the cards? I'll have to hope that the cars in front making mistakes. Haza just run wide into the chicane, and he's now going to be under pressure from the V-Carb, who is already having half a look up the inside. Is he going to send it into turn 1 again? Late on the brakes, just like it was on the restart. What a move by Soul Demon. He's absolutely on fire. And Alpha Wall's race win is under serious threat right now, with just 3 laps to go. 9/10 is the gap. It's Alpha Wall versus Soul Demon. Soul, who was not even in the top 20 in the standings up until last race, is now fighting for the race win here in Singapore. Absolute scenes. Yellow flags out once again. Oh, it's no surprise because it's Josh Boschman into the wall. Once again, he's having the worst race of his life. And there goes Jesus. V13, another point. Make that a total of 3, but his championship rival, Tolu, is going to extend the lead. As I say that, Tolu is into the wall. No way. And that's a race at the track, mate. That is not allowed. That is, well, commentator's curse. I've had it so many times. And once again, it has happened without championship leader Tolu. Oh my days. Alpha Wall then. Gap is 2/10, but we've seen that Soul Demon can be absolutely mighty on the brakes. Especially into turn 1. And Alpha Wall running a bit wide. Alpha Wall is very slow coming out of the final corner. Soul Demon deploys the ERS. Is he gonna have a look up the inside? Not quite, he's gonna stay behind for now. Still got 2 laps to go. Oh, he's having a look up the inside of the exit of turn 3. The McLaren runs wide again. Don't want to be on the outside of this turn. It's going to be difficult to overtake. Runs into the back then. With a switchback. We will once again be on the outside of the next turn. Wheel to wheel for the top 2 for the race win on the penultimate lap of this race. Alpha Wall on the inside. Josh Boschman into the wall again. And Alpha Wall's able to stay in front for now. And was there damage for someone? It is damage for Soul Demon. He is hit the wall, I think, or the back of the McLaren, but the V-Carb has now lost his front right end plate, and that is going to make his task of trying to overtake a lot more difficult than it already is on a track like this in the rain. Still having a look. Alpha Wall desperately trying to keep the V-Carb behind. Haza's also still there, trying to have a look, but yeah, Haza is going to hold on to the podium for now. Actually, yeah, he is. 6 seconds for Just Football. Parzival will finish P4. Good race in the end for him. We are gonna go on to the final lap of this race. Lap 31. Who's it gonna be? Alpha Wall or Soul Demon for the win? The McLaren has the advantage, but the V-Carb has been mighty in the past few laps. Can he find a way past? So close now to the back. He doesn't quite have the better exit. And he will have to stay behind for now, and he's under pressure from Hassa. Having a look around the outside. Will to will, the Red Bull a bit too late on the brakes. And he's forced to stay behind, and that has created a gap then to Alpha Hype Wall. A bit of breathing air for the McLaren. Is he going to be able to bring it home? The gap's grown to almost a second. I don't think Soul Demon is going to be able to do anything. Alpha Hype Wall, his first win. From 9th on the grid, Soul Demon from 14th on the grid, Hassa from 11th on the grid, S11 from 10th on the grid. Absolute crazy scenes, but on to the final sector, only a few corners to go for McLaren and Alpha Hype Wall. Into the final corner we go, and from 9th on the grid, Alpha Hype Wall is gonna win the Singapore Grand Prix. Alpha Hype Wall sees the checkered flag first, and he is your Singapore Grand Prix race winner. What a phenomenal drive, phenomenal defense in the final couple of laps to hold off the V-Carb. And Soul Demon will finish in 2nd place, getting his first podium of the season. Hassa takes the final spot on the podium in P3. Just ahead of Parsifal, and that is speed in the wall across the line. And it's not been a great day for the top 2 in the championship, the top 3 in fact. Josh Boschman doesn't even make it to the line, retires on the final lap. Oh, they're leaving already. That's the case then. But well done to Alpha Hype Wall, what a race for him. And he is gonna become a serious championship contender. Because before this race he was 37 points of Tolu. Is gonna gain massively after this win. Tolu and Jesus with minimal points. Yeah, take a look at the podium. And here we go then for the final result. The fastest lap of the race goes to Schwarzfuppel, an extra point for him. But well, 6 of the drivers who finished in the top 10 didn't start inside the top 10. Jumpy Painter from his qualifying ban to P5. Phenomenal drives we have seen in this race. Alpha Hype Wall wins ahead of Soul Demon, Hassa, Parsifal, Jumpy Painter, Schwarzfuppel, Dasher, Carnator, Toto, Shark, Pete, Jesus, Black Sky, and Josh Boschman, although these 2 will jump up, or Black Sky will jump up. Madman, Bob, Firehawk, Bordy, and Zeniac, retirements of this race, but it's been very chaotic. Absolute carnage once again. And that's it for now as well, because the next race will be January 9th in the new year, 2025, for the Texas Grand Prix, round 9 of the season, which is held on my birthday, by the way, so unsure if I am going to be your commentator for that race, but if not, I'll be back for round 10 in Portugal. If I am, you will see me again next time. anyway, that's it for tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in to this very chaotic race. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye. Have a good one. See ya.